All right, so here is the reaction to what the hell just went down. First and foremost, Sparks abso-effing-lutely flew. Deegan, I believe that was a pure strategy. I think there should have been stuff on the pit board for Joe to be like, hey, let Seth by. I think he still would have won the championship points. Don't quote me, but I think that's possibly the scenario. So he was just in danger zone, literally the danger zone, racing with Degan. We knew he was going to do something, and I give it up to him, right? Metal Militia, go out swinging, because you're either going to lose the championship by a point or so, or you may lose the champion because of getting penalized for taking people out. But I saw him brake check, I saw him like T-boned, I saw him slow down, and then eventually he took them both down and broke his collarbone, which, by the way, is like for the MX of Nations, Cody Shock, just saying this, took him like a week to get it plated, and then he was racing again. So I do think that there is something to where Degan can still race if he wants to, right? Because there's not a whole lot of accolades. Well, there is accolade, but there's no usually money behind winning the championship for MX of Nations. So for that, I think it might be done with for Motocross of Nations for him, but I do believe it was complete strategy for him to get out front. He really needed to win the first one, but he ended up getting taken out by Ryder D. I mean, Ryder D made a mistake and then he clipped him, so that was unfortunate. So it was just kind of a string of bad luck for Degan tonight, but dude, his wherewithal with everybody was outstanding. And the pure strategy to just, I'm gonna get run over here by multiple vehicles, and they're trying to get out of here. Here, look at this. This is where I need to go, the tent, but maybe we'll go onto the track for just a little bit. Yeah, he's got room. He's got room. There you go, boss. Good job, good job. Here's another truck coming. Thank you for not running me over. Where was I? With the whole strategy. Let Degan by. I think that was the strategy, was to let Degan by, and then you can fuck with him. You can mess with him. If it happens to, he doesn't make a mistake on his own, you force one and you take his ass out. It's Vegas, it's 500 grand, you know? So he was pretty much putting everything on black, and it didn't work out for him, which was unfortunate. So that's how that whole thing went down. I do say that the strategy was killer, was freaking killer. I kind of wanted to go see where Sexton's, what holes or something, because truthfully, I think the lighting here is what made Sexton make a mistake. Because I guess I'll caveat to that. Sexton is the strongest guy on a bike, because he's bigger. He's the biggest guy. I'm gonna try not to get in the way of all the heavy equipment here, because they're tearing down the track, and they've already got quite a, like, the finish line is completely gone already. One press conference later, and it is gone. But I don't think he should have gone down, right? And so I think the lights contributed to it. I think he hit a hole that he didn't see, and because he's strong enough to where if he saw something, you know, he would be flexed. But because of that, potentially not seeing something, then he ends up getting sideways. And from talking to some of the fans, which is on another video that I have, he swapped by hitting a hole and then went to an endo and and then ended up from there just endoing into the face of one of these fast wall jumps, singles, and got knocked out and flipped over. There's an argument to be said with should the race have been red flagged, because this is one of the most high profile athletes that we have. Somebody for MX of Nations, I believe they were like getting a backboard out, so I couldn't see it. There was no big jumbotron on there. I was on the other side of the track, but I gotta take the fans' word for what they were saying. So it's a damned if you don't, damned if you are. with something like that. Supercross has done a really exceptional job with safety this far, so just let it continue. I know it's the final. 3 minutes cutting it wouldn't have been a big deal. Okay, it's not like the Charlotte again where there's just no second motos. So people would have been able to, like, okay, cool. And I believe that's what enabled Jett to pass Eli, was because of those yellow flags that were all around everything. And that's unfortunate for him because that's big money on the line too. They could have just ended it. Hunter would have won the championship, and so now it's like a coulda, woulda, shoulda. So I could see from HRC Honda, they would be kind of protesting. But again, now you're protesting your brother for winning the bonus here. But definitely Hunter did straight up beat his brother this time, which is pretty damn cool. And that's something that he hasn't been able to do because Jett's always been either a bad start or DNF before you have Hunter actually being able to beat him. So this time he was full-blown able to come away with the W, at least in that moto, not the full championship, which is unfortunate for him. And that's why, again, I still would like to see him on another team because I know that he's the primary tester there at Honda, so he's making that bike so damn good. And if Jett didn't have that, would Jett be just as good? He probably would be good, but maybe not as good, if that is the silliest analogy that I could come up with. And then Hunter would be better. So then it would be, I don't have two hands here, but a pendulum, you know, would be maybe more even for that SOB. And back to Chase, dude. This is 2 SMX is in a row that he has now been taken out. I mean, the first one was like a Barsha incident, and this one was maybe the lighting, maybe the tire. You know, I do think that scoop tire is not good. I don't think it's meant for fast pace, hard pack holes. It's meant for sand, right? And sure, the spec tires are probably some different compound or some BS, but everyone was running them, and they know that they don't hook up that well. So that could have been an instant for a rider to get sideways, but that with the lighting and potentially missing what you're seeing created that crash. And now MX of Nations is screwed because I don't really see Degan coming, and Chase is probably definitely not coming because he's got a major concussion. I'm glad to see that I heard that he walked into the Alpine Star medical crew, so that was good. And the lights are off in the back, so I can't even go over there and look at it because they're tearing apart the track. So I'm disappointed for MX of Nations, that's for sure. And not being negative, I was a little disappointed with the press conference because a lot of the guys didn't show up. It's the final. I'm like, come on, guys, show up to the damn press conference. They were doing the media scrub right there, so most of those guys just went straight to that. And I don't know, it's not going to change unless you talk about it. So there should be no empty seats because there's some really talented media guys that can do a damn good job. So for that, but overall, Vegas was awesome. Sparks flew. Super impressed with Joe. Super impressed with Hunter. And even more impressed with Eli because I've said it. That dude is beast mode. He is on point, and it's just the level has risen, and that level is almost unattainable. I mean, Eli for the last decade or so has been one of the top dogs for a decade. So it makes sense to have somebody eventually, there's going to be a bigger fish in the sea at some point, and that's what ended up happening. And so Eli was very frustrated on the podium, and he just kind of said, Jett is so damn good, which tells me he knows how good he is at the moment. He is at the top of his game. So the whole argument that we haven't seen the best Tomac, I think is ridiculous. This is the best Tomac, and it's so cool to be able to see him in his 30s as the best Tomac. But we just have the likes of Hunter and Jett and now Degan and even Sexton. Like I've said it before, I think Sexton may be the most talented guy out there. And I've also gotten in arguments with some pretty high-profile athletes about talent, and you know, what success happens when preparation meets opportunity. Sexton, to me, just seems like he knows how to twist the throttle to a point where above his own expectations. And to me, that is kind of talent. And yeah, sure, all the comments can say shit about, you know, well, Jett is a generational talent. Sure, I get it. Okay, Jett can race at 80% and still win. Just like the question I asked him on the podium was like, dude, you're untouchable. What does it feel like to be untouchable? Because that's abso-effing-lutely what he is he's untouchable. He moves that bike where he wants to. Basically, whatever he does, he'll win. He had a small mishap in Supercross, which he didn't end up winning the championship because he tore his ACL, but, you know, minor setback. When Jett is on, nobody can beat him. And now, the Motocross of Nations, I'm like, we had a damn good team. And I asked Seth on the podium, or at the press conference, can you fill in? And he said, I am getting shoulder surgery, so I can't. So who is it? Is it going to be Levi now? I don't know. But then RJ maybe for the 450s? So that's totally up in the air. But it has been a pleasure. Thank you for joining. Hit that subscribe button. And all the fans that came up to me and took selfies and everything, not expected whatsoever. And I sincerely appreciate it. Bra-da-da-da-da.